What's up, guys? I'm here at San Francisco Airport about to fly ANA's business class product called The Room from here in San Fran to Tokyo. This is going to be an incredible 11-hour leg. Come with me along on the journey as I show you how I booked it, what the experience is like, and overall my take on the best ways to get to Japan. This is insane. These seats are massive.
You can get all of them.
Oh, nice. Cool. Wow. Oh, we're gonna eat well on this trip. I love traveling. When you're flying ANA business class out of San Francisco, they don't have an ANA lounge here, so you do get access to the United Polaris lounge. So there's the United Club, and then there's the United Polaris lounges. The Polaris lounges are a little bit higher, and when you're flying a premium international product like this, as a part of the Star Alliance, you'll get access. I just love airports. It's just something about like international vibes meets everyone going to a different place. I don't know what it is. Then you add in like a new business class product I've never flown before, going to a country that I love. It's like, I mean, it's pretty friggin' awesome. Yeah, so right now we're about to hit the lounge and Bryn's checking out some food here. Now, one of the things that we have to navigate often is that she's got some dietary restrictions and food allergies that can make it tough to eat easily when you're traveling, especially in airports where they don't have like a lot of modifications for things. So tip on that is just to stock up on snacks that you know you can eat. So we're doing some of that now. Then we're gonna go hit the lounge, see what she can have. I will enjoy my first indulgence and some champagne on this travel day. All right, so I just grabbed a nice little espresso martini here at the Polaris Lounge, and it's a pretty worthwhile experience. As far as business class lounges go, it's definitely one of the premier options, especially within the States. But what you'll find is there is a dining room section where they have, you know, full dining service, menus, the whole thing, order off the menu kind of style. And there's some really good food there. I don't have enough time today to go enjoy that. And plus there's some really incredible food that I actually just want to save for on the flights. And honestly, as silly as it sounds, that's like part of my strategic flight planning is I'll think about the flight I'm about to go on and be like, how do I make sure I don't eat too much before? So when I'm on the flight, I can actually enjoy more of the food. Again, never having flown ANA, it's something that I've looked forward to. I've heard the in-flight food's amazing, ramens and sushis and stuff like that. And so I'm looking forward to that. But of course, I'll have a nice little celebratory drink to kick it off. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Japan, the culture, obviously highly efficient. So even when it comes down to their boarding time, they waste no time. Other premium carriers, they're gonna board like an hour ahead, maybe even more. And ANA, we just walked down to go to the gate and just check things out. And we were there and we were like, oh, we don't board for another like 45 minutes. And again, it's because they just have a very efficient boarding process where you just get in, make it happen, and then you're off. So I am unnecessarily excited for this flight. You shouldn't feel like this before boarding a plane, but I do. So it was like 30 seconds to board first day business class. Like the last time we flew, and it was like an hour, felt like. So this is super quick. Hello, thank you. We made it. This is insane. These seats are massive. This is the most insane business class I've ever seen in my life. The flight attendant's like, sir, you can't go over there. I'm like, no, I'm taking her bags for her. I'm a professional chauffeur and courier. There you go. All right, so we just boarded this plane, and guys, I am in love with this seat. Oh my God, I've never seen a business class seat this big. It's absolutely bonkers, honestly. It's better than a lot of first class seats, to be honest. I'm already loving it. Go sit down and grab a glass of champagne and enjoy the ride. All right, so I'm about to start getting some work done, but in the meantime, I thought I would break down how I actually booked this. And ultimately, this seat would be, for the two of us, around $16,000 to $17,000 total. We ended up paying around $12 out of pocket for it and just 220,000 miles total. There's a few different ways you could really book a flight like this. So there's paying cash, there's going through the travel portal, and then there's transferring your points. Those are gonna be the three main options you'd have. So paying cash, again, around $16,000 to $17,000. If you were to go through a site like Amex Travel or Capital One Travel or these bank travel portals, this would be about 1.6 million to 1.7 million points, which is an insane amount of points. I don't currently have that many, so that wasn't really an option either. And then the third option was to transfer points and book this through a partner airline. So that's what I ultimately want to explain how I did and how you could consider doing this too. But before I get into the actual deal, I want to explain something that's more important about getting these kinds of flights, which is setting yourself up for success. I don't know who quoted it initially, but there's that really famous quote that 90% of success is just showing up. Well, in the game of points and miles and travel, 90% of success comes from setting yourself up for success. Meaning, do you have flexible dates? Do you have the right type of points? Do you know where to search for these types of routes? And are you able to jump on a deal quickly? And if you set yourself up for success with the right expectations, the right type of points, a little bit of flexibility, then the ability to actually book this deal becomes much, much easier. The most common mistake that I see people make when it comes to grabbing deals like this is they're not flexible enough, and they may not have the right type of points. So there's really two main things. One's more of like a mindset thing around flexibility, and the other is around earning the right type of points. And if you have both of those right, then the odds of you scoring these kinds of deals is so much higher. For me in particular, I was really looking forward to flying on this specific aircraft in this specific suite because it's world famous. It's known as one of the best business class products in the world. It's an incredible way to fly, and I really wouldn't want to fly any other option to Japan unless it was in first class, or maybe it was the Sky Suite with Japan Airlines. So that's the first thing you need to do to book a seat like this, is to make sure that you're flexible. And flexibility comes down to dates, and it comes down to routes. So when I say routes, what I mean is, where are you flying into or out of? For example, this flight flew out of San Francisco into Tokyo, but we were coming from Austin. So we weren't looking for a flight direct from Austin. They don't even operate that. We weren't even looking for a one-stop from Austin. We were looking for a one-way, non-stop flight from a major US hub into Japan, okay, or even into other major Asian hubs. For example, Seoul, South Korea would be another really good option to fly business class over to Asia if you're trying to go to Japan, because it's only an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on where you're flying to in Japan, from these major airports. So for example, if you were to fly from Houston to Seoul in business class to get to Japan, that might be actually a better way to get there than flying direct into Japan, depending on the seasonality and stuff like that. So I did also have proper expectations of this. I knew that this is peak season. There's going to be less options available. So when a good one comes up, I want to book it. So that was really the setup for success here. Now, the last piece of that, again, was having these transferable and flexible points. And I had some points with the Big Blue Bank that I'm not allowed to say the name of that do transfer directly into United. Now, United is a part of the Star Alliance, which ANA is a part of. So when this deal opened up, I was actually able to book it directly through United. Now, typically there's actually better ways to book ANA business class flights, which is through Virgin Airlines. But for some reason, at the time of me booking this, there was some weird issue between the partnership between ANA and Virgin, where even if you called Virgin Atlantic over the phone, which normally you need to, it wasn't available. So the traditional way to book ANA is that you find the availability on United, and then you call Virgin to book it, just based on how they partner and how they price. Now, if you find this deal on Virgin, it can be extremely cheap in terms of points, like unbelievably cheap. It's one of the best sweet spots in the points and miles game, but it is hard to come by. And a quick hello from Eli in the future. Now, if you're watching me explain all this and you're thinking, oh my God, that seems like a lot, I don't want to spend all the time figuring that out, I don't blame you. And that's why I created our private members only community, where you get access to some of the top experts in the world to help you turn your points into your dream trips. Whether it's business class flights to Japan or luxury hotel stays in Europe, where I am right now, we can help you maximize your points in the easiest and most efficient way possible. So if you want more information about that, check out the link in the description below. Now back to the video. So before we move on to the deal, I just really want to reiterate this point on flexibility, because, you know, I work with a lot of business owners, and in fact, this trip is kicking off because I have 53 entrepreneurs that are all doing 7, 8, or 9 figures coming out to meet me in Japan for a trip that I'm organizing. It's a ski trip. And a lot of them even don't have flexibility. And I think that's a huge mistake. And here's why. Because if you even built in enough flexibility in your life to fly out on the 20th instead of the 21st, or the 22nd instead of the 21st, if that was the date you were looking for, then in my opinion, you're being way too rigid about what you can and can't do. And if you add a little bit more flexibility in your life, especially in relation to travel, you're gonna have way more options to get way better value. Now, most people don't have this because they don't understand what the cost of the opportunity is. When they start to realize it, they're like, oh yeah, I could be a little more flexible on my dates, my routes. But traditionally, people want direct. They want the day they want. I understand that. But when you see how much better it gets when you have a little bit of flexibility, it becomes really worth it. And this is actually really funny because I was speaking to a guy last week who I randomly met, a British guy. He's made over $30 million in his life. So very successful, very wealthy guy. And he was telling me, he's like, I work with billionaires all the time. And he's been in the points game for a while. And he was like, so many people overlook that importance of flexibility. He goes, you're not that important. He goes, I know billionaires that are flexible with their travel dates. Okay. So if you are doing $1 million a year, or even $10 million a year, or even $30, $50 million a year, he's like, it's not worth paying 15, 20K just to fly on the date you want when you could just fly the next day. Like, just make your life fit a little bit better. Now, for domestic travel, I think that's different. For domestic travel, I think it's just get from A to B, because the savings isn't that big. Usually you don't want to spend extra time for a smaller trip, but for a flight like this, where it's a full day of travel, it just makes sense to be a little bit more flexible. So once you understand that ability to be flexible and you have the right points that can transfer to airlines, then it's time to start setting yourself up to look for the actual deal. So there's a couple different tools that can help you with this. There's some that can set alerts. There's ones that can help you find out the routes. So for this, the first place I went actually was flightconnections.com. And honestly, I have a team of experts that help advise our clients, and they're even better at this than I am. So I turned to a couple of our team members, Tommy and Allison, who are inside of our team here, Freedom Travel Systems. And I asked them, I said, hey, you guys have helped hundreds of our clients book trips to Asia. What have you seen as the best routes, the most common availability? When do business class seats tend to open? And so they gave me the whole breakdown of proper expectation setting. But what I had done is I was using flight connections, and then I set up some alerts on some of these point searching tools, and I found a couple different deals open up. So the first one that I found that was actually pretty good was on Starlux business class. Now this is a Taiwanese carrier. And initially we were going to fly direct into Taiwan and then do a hop up to Japan. Now this is actually a really good deal and it would have worked. So I just booked it and I knew that, okay, if I have to cancel this, I'll just get my points back and I can get them back and book something else. And that's actually exactly what happened, because a few weeks later, about a week before the trip, I found a much better option to fly direct into Tokyo, which is what I was kind of aiming for. I think it was a day earlier than what I was initially planning. So I said, okay, we'll be a little more flexible. We'll just fly in a day early. We'll go direct to Tokyo. We'll fly ANA business class to the room. It was a much better option overall. So I canceled that Starlux flight, which I booked through Alaska Airlines. So I got my Alaska miles back. And then I transferred my points into United to book this flight here. So that's what I always recommend, is to book a plan B flight first, something that would be a good option for you that's going to meet your needs and overall get you where you need to go. But be ready to stay open for more deals as they open up as you get closer, and you can cancel that and get your points back and then book a second one. This is really, really common, because what happens is as you get closer to the date of departure, these airlines, they want to get cash for the seat that I'm in. They want that $8,000 cash payment. But if they don't sell that, then they're going to say, okay, we'll take the points, because these points are like liabilities to them as a company. So they'd rather recoup on the points than have it go empty. So what they do is they open up the seats, a week out, 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, and you see more options open up. So that's why I ended up snagging this deal. Now, the last thing that happened here is I actually booked the wrong ANA flight at first. Now, thankfully, Tommy, who again is on our team and he's a true expert in this game, he reminded me to check the seat map of the flight. And when I went to do that, I totally blanked and forgot to do that in the initial booking. And I was on an ANA business class flight that was on a 777 aircraft, which we're on right now, but it wasn't the seat configuration that they call the room, where it has this big, amazing suite and this kind of different menu and all that stuff. It was on a 777 that was like their older version of the plane. So thankfully, he reminded me of that. And then the same day, there was a different version of that flight, still out of San Francisco, that was the upgraded cabin, and it was the same amount of points. So actually just went out to United site, I clicked change flight, and then I found the right seat map to confirm, okay, this is in fact the right aircraft. And then I ended up booking this one instead. So the only thing left to do after we did that was to book a positioning flight up to San Francisco, which I used Alaska miles for. We did one overnight the night before we left. And then now here we are somewhere over the Pacific enjoying an amazing flight. We just watched our first movie of the flight and we get some work done. I've been slurping down ramen. I've been drinking champagne. It's been a hell of a ride. And as far as best options to get to Asia goes, I think this has to be one of them. Flying true first class is always an amazing experience when you can do it, but it's much more difficult to find ANA first class or Japan Airlines first class, especially for 2, 3, or 4 people. If you're flying as one person and you have total flexibility, it can definitely happen, but I wouldn't set expectations that getting true first class is going to be a normal thing. I would say that's more common, that people are going to be flying business class, so that's really what we had our standard set for on this one. So the next time I come back to Japan or on the way out, I'm 100% going to be looking for this seat first, but if other options open up for other major carriers, I would definitely be open to trying out things like Cathay Pacific. There is a Singapore route from LAX to Tokyo. I would definitely try that again. And I would also love to experience Japan Airlines business or first class, because I haven't flown them yet. But honestly, and this sounds crazy for some people, but the most important thing is to confirm the type of aircraft and the version that you're flying. Because both with ANA and Japan Airlines, there are multiple flights a day operated to and from the US, and there's different types of aircraft flying on these, and they are totally not the same quality. The 787, for example, the old version of that on ANA, is like a mediocre business class experience, and this is top of the line, top in the world. So it's not just the airline, it's not just the deal, it's also the actual aircraft you're flying and the total experience. So fortunately, I have experts on my team that even help me do this stuff, because it's things that, I'm busy running a business. I don't get to pay attention to every single detail all the time, but I know the people who do, and I know how to ask them when I need it. So the moral of the story for you is to make sure you have flexibility, make sure you're setting yourself up with the right type of points, these transferable points that you earn on bank credit cards. Then make sure that you understand what type of aircraft are operating on what routes, book your plan B flight, and then stay open and flexible for plan A flight to come in, and you'll enjoy an amazing experience on your way over to Asia. So we just started our ascent into takeoff. I took the seatbelt sign off, so time to check out the suite. So the first thing, we've got a pretty epic pull-out tray table here. Really big space and conveniently slides all the way in and out. It sounds like a minor detail, but it actually matters a lot, because I am going to be doing some work on this flight, and having a good setup where I actually have enough room to work and eat is massively helpful. A lot of the times, it's kind of flimsy, or it's slightly angled, or it's like kind of small. And again, for 11 hours to be able to have a good experience, that will make a big difference. Now, the second thing is we got this guy right here. So with the press of a button, I can say voila, or I forget how to say goodbye in Japanese, but I can basically put the divider up, and then on the side over here, we've got the same thing where I can essentially just press this button right here. Boom. The door comes closed, and I think there's a second one right there. There you go. I've got a now fully enclosed private suite, so when I go to sleep later, that'll be really nice. Huge amounts of privacy on here. Now, what's interesting as well, the seat is pretty low to the ground here. It just makes it feel like you're kind of like tucked in. It feels very cozy, like really into the suite, which is cool. So that's what we've got so far. We've got a bunch of pillows and blankets here. The boarding process was extremely efficient, very smooth. I was impressed by that for sure. Quick to get to take off. I had a quick glass of champagne, and probably start in-flight service soon, which we've got the menu right here. And we've got lots of different sake, champagne, shoshu, champagne I will definitely enjoy. Plenty of wines, and it says right here, order anytime after your first meal. So these are basically like in-flight snacks you can have. You know, soups, they've got different noodle dishes, they've got sandwiches, stuff like that. Beef lasagna, interesting. Miso soup, of course. We also have beef fillet steak, roasted halibut. I didn't eat much today very intentionally so that I could enjoy more on the flight. Should be a good time. What kind of champagne? Thank you so much. Wonderful, thank you. Wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. A little prosciutto, mozzarella, some maybe pesto, a little crostini kind of thing. All right, let's see how it is. Very good. Nothing crazy. Pretty good. So tomato, cheese situation. Oh yeah. Pesto, little pesto, mozzarella, and tomato. That's good. What'd you get, baby? A little green tea. I'll try the jellied scallop, please.
You can get all of them.
Everything.
Everything, yes.
The whole thing.
Yeah, whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. All right. So let's just take a look at the Japanese set menu. We've got jellied scallops and paprika with yuzu, Japanese omelet with fish paste, and that's this thing right here, chicken and green onion roll, deep fried cream cheese with dried nori, grilled rockfish with sweet sake. Ooh. Wow. Very good. Something savory. It's good. I think it's scallops. This is scallops. Very good. Oh yeah. Wow, it's really good. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, deep fried cream cheese with dried nori. So this section is the zensai. Then we've got the asparagus with tofu and snow crab, and we've got the seared tuna. So this is 1, 2, 3 on the set here. By the way, take a look at this. Legit. And here we go with the this one. That omelet's under there. Chicken and green onion roll. Yeah, there's the onion. We got the sashimi, the ginger dressing. Just stir it up a little bit. That's that right there. Boom, boom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's delicious. That's really fucking good. This tuna is fucking legit. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna eat well on this trip. I love traveling. It's time to watch a little bit of a movie. So we have a new movie out called Lee. We're gonna see if we can sync this stuff up at the same exact time. So you ready to hit it? 3, 2, 1, play. Thank you so much. All right, so we've got our main dish out now, which is the grilled red rockfish with sweet sake. We've got some steamed rice, some miso soup, and some Japanese pickles. Looks pretty great. So we're gonna start here with the pickles, actually. Let's see how we go. Oh, fuck. That's nice. So we got the final dessert here, which is a chocolate panna cotta with strawberries and a little bit of coffee here. So, salud. Okay, so we just watched a killer movie, and now it's time to have a little bit of ramen. Ooh, this looks delicious. Big old hearty bowl of ramen. So this is a tonkatsu ramen. Smells delicious. Oh, that is delicious. Fatty, creamy, so good. Wow, that's absolutely delicious. That is banging. That is banging. So now it's time to turn this thing to a little bit of a bed, maybe have a nice glass of champagne, some more ramen, and watch a movie for the last few hours of the flight. So let's get this thing cranked up here. Let's press this little magical button right here and watch this thing transform into a full lay flat bed. And this is, wow, damn, this is actually really, really wide. Super spacious. The pad down, I'm gonna put the memory foam pillow down next, support pillow there, and then I got my blanket down here. Get this thing set. And voila, we got ourselves a nice old bed in the sky. Check this out. And then, of course, to complete the finishing touches of the full bed, we're gonna hit the door, and then this piece too, to go into full privacy mode. I'm gonna go check out a movie and have some more ramen. Cheers. And one thing I want to make sure to show you is the inside of the amenity kit. So nice little bag right here, green little thing. The old bag inside of a bag trick. We've got lip balm and then body lotion. So there's a nice bag. Is there anything else in here? That's pretty much it. So, okay, amenity kit, not that impressive. I don't really care about amenity kits though, so almost happy with it, honestly. This is the business class amenity kit. Nothing too fancy. There you go. So of course, it wouldn't be a full flight review without showing you the bathroom. Now, this is the business class bathroom. It's not that big, to be honest, but it does have one amazing feature to it. The A&A bidet. Yes, that rhymes. And we are talking about right there, all these buttons are fancy Japanese toilet features. So the Japanese are known for pretty epic toilets. It's just a funny thing. I guess it's a high level of cleanliness here, but that is definitely a nice touch to the bathroom. So we're in our final descent into Tokyo, and my overall take on this flight has been incredible. The staff has been amazing. The seat, really comfortable. The screen, huge, big flat screen right in front of you. Fully enclosed suite. Great food all the way through. The one wish I could make if they could do anything different is that they could include more sushi on the menu. We had some sashimi, we had ramen, stuff like that, but I would love some more sushi. So that is the only thing I was thinking of, like, if there's anything missing, what could it be? And it'd be that. But otherwise, I mean, everything 10 out of 10 across the board. This really feels like a first class product in a business class cabin. Having flown some of the world's best first class products, this is right on par with a lot of those. So would highly recommend if I were to stack this up against other premier business class suites. So Emirates business class, Qatar Q suites, any of the Delta One suites, I would say this is probably the highest as far as any business class product has gone. The only product that I think it actually competes with is Virgin's Retreat Suite. That is technically a business class seat, but it feels like a first class seat inside of the business class cabin. That is really, really spacious, and I would say that might be competing with this in terms of a business class product. But otherwise, I haven't flown anything that is better, and I'm looking forward to trying out some other premium business class products across the world. But if you're going to Japan, this is one to look out for. So the key is going to be, can you actually find the deal and book it? So this is why inside of our private community, inside of our membership, we have experts that help with this. I mentioned a couple times that I referred to my own team members to help me book this, and that's because they're just on top of this stuff 24/7. It takes a lot to stay really up to speed with all the changes that are going on, all the different updates to aircrafts, the different routes these planes are flying, the best deals, where they're happening. So if you want direct access to our team of experts, the same experts that I use to help plan trips like this, then there'll be a link in the description below to our private membership community. This is where you get direct access to us. There's live calls. You can post comments and engage with our team. You can book one-on-ones, and you can get all sorts of awesome deal alerts on dream trips as well. So that'll be linked down below. And with that, I hope to see you in another video.